Hello, angels. Welcome to season 2, episode 7, whatever I've decided to call it, because I haven't figured out what I'm going to talk about yet. Just kidding. I really want to talk about gratitude and perspective today. So we're going to keep the theme. Let's see how I do. Let's rock and roll. Okay. I feel like it's been a while since I've been on here. A lot has happened. I have since been in Santorini, which has been so amazing, especially since I've been solo traveling for like a fair stint, and then to be able to catch up with friends and be able to go out and do like all the fun holiday things that I never really do when I'm on my own. When I'm on my own, I'm just like not really on vacay. I'm more so just traveling, and I just am where I am, and I do the things that I would do regardless of my location. And, I still go to the beach and all those sorts of things, but I don't go and do the touristy things. So it's really fun to be able to do those things. So I've had a jam-packed week, and now I'm back to solo, back to reset, which is really interesting because it really just reminds me of how important the relationship with self is. Because ultimately, if you don't have that relationship with self, then you're actually not even going to be a really great person to hang out with. And that's just the facts, because anyone that doesn't have a strong relationship with themselves is going to be coming from some form of codependency. And I've been there, so I get it. And it's as simple as that. I remember when I was in my previous long-term relationship, and I really made it a relationship issue about you don't spend enough time with me. I feel, I want to do all these things, and I want to go for walks, and I want to go all these places, and you don't want to come with me. And I made that about the relationship, and I made that a problem between the two of us, when in actual fact, that was just a problem within myself and my own self-love, and feeling loneliness all comes down to your relationship with self. Because I'm sure many of you can relate to this. You can be in a big room full of loads of people and still feel lonely. So it's got nothing to do with the people around you and everything to do with your level of understanding self, because when you are able to have that relationship with yourself, then you are able to attract in higher frequency friendships and relationships, because now you're attracting people that feel the same. You're attracting people that have a good relationship with themselves, that do things out of love for themselves rather than out of hate and escapism. And I think that's what has really changed my perspective on alcohol. Look, if you've been here long enough, you know that it's not my favorite. But in Europe, it's a really different mindset around alcohol, which is just so interesting, because personally my experience in Australia is any time that I had been to an event where there was alcohol, which is pretty much every event, it was largely people just drinking to get drunk and drinking to get as wasted as they possibly can while being able to stand on 2 feet. And I really think it's different over here. Look, obviously I'm aware that at that time I was also a person who was trying to escape. So that's obviously the kind of people that I'm going to attract around me. And now that I've worked on my vibration and my relationship with self, I have better people around me. But it really just comes down to, what is your relationship with yourself? How do you treat yourself when no one's looking? Not about posting your self-care routine on Instagram, telling everyone what you do in the self-care. Of course, those things are important to spread the love and spread the message, but it's what are you doing when nobody else is looking? How are you talking to yourself when nobody else is looking? Because that is just it. I really hope that I'm emphasizing this message, and that you're not going to have a great time in planet Earth if you don't make your body a safe space, if you don't love yourself no matter what. Like, for example, it's really easy to love yourself on vacation because you've worked hard for this, and now you're able to spend the money, and now you're able to eat whatever food you want and go places, and wow, look where I am, this is beautiful. And that's fantastic. So you love yourself in the good times, but how do you treat yourself in the bad, quote unquote bad times? How do you treat yourself when you're not on vacay? Because ultimately you need to keep some level of consistency in how you treat yourself. You can't love yourself one day and not love yourself another day. You can't love yourself when you're doing good and love yourself and not love yourself when you're doing bad. Because would you treat a child that way? Would you treat someone that you love and care about that way? Like, I'm pretty sure the answer is no. The answer is, when you truly love someone, you love them no matter what they're going through. You love them no matter what kind of day you're having, and you understand. And that doesn't mean that you need to put up with it. That doesn't mean that you need to sit there while they're being neg and they're, ranting and they are putting all their projections on you. That's not what this means. It means loving yourself enough first to know when is the time to go, okay, I want to be here for you, but first and foremost, I need to be here for myself. And so I really believe that we cannot embody unconditional love for others until we embody it for ourselves, because we need to love ourselves in the hard moments. When you don't want to get out of bed, you need to love yourself no matter what. You can't lie in bed and say, oh my God, I'm being so lazy. Like, I have things to do today. Like, I was supposed to see my friend today, and now I feel like canceling. Wow, what a shit friend I am, blah, blah, blah. That's not embodying self-love. Self-love is in those moments when you go, okay, if what I want right now is to stay in bed, and if I need to cancel on this friend today and explain to them what I'm going through and that I'm really struggling, and just right now all I can think about is rest, then a good friend will understand. Okay? A good friend will understand when you put themselves first, because not only are they either doing that for themselves, or you've just shown them that it is possible to do that for themselves. And one thing that I have really, really struggled with in the past is this obligation to reply to your friends. And there was a time where I wouldn't even post anything. I wouldn't make a post. I wouldn't make a story, because I thought, oh shit, I haven't responded to my friend. This is ridiculous because if you're my friend and you're subject to this, here we go. Let me explain. Basically, there is no need to apologize for where you're spending your energy, because I know that my friends know that if I haven't replied, it's because I'm not in the right vibration. It's not personal, it's vibrational. If you want what you want from me, and I want to give you my best version, and obviously you want to get the most out of the conversation. So I'm going to wait until I am in the right vibration, and then I can respond, and it will be incredible, and it won't contain any of my BS, because I'm not coming into it seeking something else from you. I'm not going, oh, I'm actually having a really bad day, like meh. No, I'm coming from it of, I've self-regulated. Yes, I might be having a bad day, but I'm not going to send that energy that way. I'm not leaking my energy everywhere. I have self-regulated and done what I can, and ultimately that is how I give people my all when I'm with them, because I make sure that I'm fully present. I don't hop on here until I can be fully present and fully in flow, because if my mind is somewhere else, this isn't going to be as good. Let's just be real. It's not going to be the same. If I have a big break, if I have a big period from not posting, and if you want to reach out and you want to say, hey girl, I'd love to hear from you, we want to hear what you have to say, of course, please. Vulnerability is such a strength, and reaching out and saying that is what you would love, and you would love some guidance. That's why I do it, right? But if I don't get that, then I'm just going to rely on my own timing and wait till I am in the right vibration, because if I wasn't in the right vibration, you would have exited by now, because it wouldn't feel good. And ultimately, we live in a vibrational universe. Everything is made up of vibrating atoms and vibrating subatomic particles. Everything is vibration. Everything is waveform. And one thing that we do know, right, is that sound is a waveform, right? Sound is frequency. So you don't even have to understand what I'm saying. You don't have to even get it and be, on top of it and go, oh, yep, got it. The fact that I am in a good vibration and that you are listening to my voice is a positive impact. It is going to raise your vibration if you allow it, because of the nature of our universe and because of the waveform. So even if all of that went over your head, just know that it doesn't matter if you're typing away at your job right now and you just have me in your ears. This is still a form of self-love for yourself, okay? So I'm really proud of you. I'm really happy that you have this on. And coming back to my point of that, everything is vibrational, and only show up when you're ready to show up. You don't need to reply to every single person if it doesn't feel right. You don't owe anybody your energy. And at the end of the day, if this is, coming up as a trigger for you, that is inviting you to say, well, how am I not acting out of self-love? How am I putting somebody else first by responding to them when actually I need to respond to myself first? Actually, I need to have time away, and I need to just realign and get back into center and reground myself. And for me, my astrology chart, my natal chart, I don't have any earth elements. So it takes me a whole lot of fucking work to ground myself, because I naturally am ungrounded. And that doesn't need to make sense to everybody. But if you do want to know more, please let me know, because I'm absolutely loving this. I feel like astrology, in terms of looking at your natal chart and comparing that with the current transits that are going on, we can pick up so many themes in our lives. We can pick up where our natural gifts are. We already know where our gifts are. We already know where, sometimes we might fall into certain patterns. We know these, but drawing the attention to these is so important, because we know them subconsciously and we don't necessarily know them all consciously. So for me, it really just feels like your life hack blueprint. It's like, okay, well, we always say like, oh yeah, kids don't come with an instruction manual. Well, you know what? We've got something actually pretty fucking close. And if you want to be ignorant to that and you want to say, oh, that's all a load of bullshit, I can guarantee you probably haven't had your chart read by me. So stay open-minded as always. We don't rule anything out until we've given it a go. And to judge another is to judge yourself. So just let that one sink in. Even when I see someone and, I have that little thought in my head, and we're not our thoughts, right? We're just the observer, but I'll have a thought come through and it'll be like, oh, what the fuck is that person wearing? And I'm like, oh, Jesus, Bella, okay. Like, on what level then do you feel like you can't fully express yourself and wear whatever you want to wear? And that quick introspection immediately draws me to my own insecurities, because judgment of another is rooted in judgment of self. And that's just how it is. And it gets to the point now where if I hear someone make a judgment, they've immediately exposed themselves one way or another. I do the exact same thing, and I'm constantly checking myself. But when you say out loud that, oh, wow, I can't believe this person did this, can't believe that person did that, you're just revealing yourself. And ultimately, we live in a time where if you know yourself, because we are all one, the law of divine oneness, we all come from the same source. We are all a manifestation of said source, in that there was the universe and all of that encompassing what the universe is, and then there is us. So manifestation is something, to me, that was an image or a thought or a feeling or whatever that was first intangible, or was first, like an internal reality in your brain. And then when it manifests, it becomes it becomes an externally manifested vision, and we have it in this realm. So we are a manifestation of source. We all come from the same thing. We are all one, right? We're all made up of atoms. We're all the freaking same. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. So we have the same atoms that have been in the ocean, that were those little freaking bacteria, and then, we became fish, and then we grew legs and we could walk on land. And, that we know, that science knows that we carry the information from our ancestors, not just human ancestors, but everything that came before us. And we're made up of stardust. We're the same thing. So where I'm going with the explanation of the law of divine oneness is that when you judge another, you're judging yourself. Okay? So this illusion of separateness, that we're different, is all based on an agenda so that we don't come together. If you think that your neighbor is different to you, if you think someone with a different color skin type or a different accent, or even just because someone cannot speak your language, that doesn't make us different. And I've learned that so much with traveling, in that the people that I communicate with, there's been so many times where I don't understand them and they don't understand me, and you kind of use words here and there. And yes, there's Google Translate, but honestly, just nearly cried. Like, I have water welling up in my eyes, because all you need to do is to communicate with other humans is this like soul communication. And I really know the power of smiling and just saying hello in whatever language that is, right? And your hand on your heart, this one for me has instantly allowed me to connect with people, because when someone's natural instinct is to put their hand on their heart, it is so beautiful. And I had this experience just tonight where I met the owner of this hotel, and it's a family business. And we were talking, and I was thanking her, and I was saying, wow, it's really beautiful here. Like, I didn't expect it to be so incredible. And I put my hand on my heart, and she did the exact same thing right after. And she said, oh, thank you so much. And I said, oh, you can really feel the love in this place. It's really, really beautiful. And just have that exchange, like, it's soul speak, like, it goes beyond words. Like, it's so fucking beautiful. And it really does remind you that we are one. We are not freaking separate. Like, and I have moments, when we're in in a taxi to go somewhere, and there's some Greek person that I don't know how to communicate with, but even just how much can be said with just eyes alone, and just like a nod and a thank you. And it is really, really powerful. And I think giving people your presence and your eye contact and your attention is so important. It doesn't even need to be for long, right? You don't need to have a full conversation to impact them. Like, looking someone, like, when was the last time you actually looked at a stranger in their eyes and actually just had this moment of connectedness with them? Like, I just really encourage you to do that when you go get a coffee or you see someone on the street. And like, I don't know, call me delusional, whatever, but I honestly think that smiling at strangers can save the fucking world. Like, I'm not kidding. When I'm feeling shit, I know that if I go outside and I go for a long walk and I get some movement and I get some fresh air, and if I can smile at a stranger and they smile back, that is honestly, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than that little hit. And for me, it has been really important, especially because I have been solo traveling. I haven't had, a lot of those interactions that we probably take for granted when we do have people around us. And yeah, I think traveling really highlights the connectedness, because you realize we're just all the same. Just because we can't communicate with our words doesn't mean that we're not going to be able to connect, because ultimately the human language is that limiting. It is so limiting. Do you know how many wars have been started because of miscommunication? Even just in your relationships, how much of the crap has just been miscommunication? Like, our words really are limited. I'm sorry, that's just the facts. Like, the soul speak and connecting with someone through your eyes and placing your hand on your heart and smiling like that is so powerful. And I really just invite you to be vulnerable and smile at a stranger and, go that extra mile. And if you think someone is wearing a cute little outfit, or you like their hair, or whatever freaking compliment it is, when it comes from a genuine place, it doesn't even matter what the compliment is. It's just that you have seen that person. You are recognizing that person. And I just, yeah, I don't even know how to explain how to do this. Just do it naturally. Like, don't be forcing a compliment for the sake of it. It's just when you get that intuitive hit of like, oh my God, I love their jewelry. Like, say something. Just say something, because wouldn't you want someone to say the exact same thing to you? Like, this isn't even about it being like, oh, you have, beautiful this feature or whatever. Like, I find an easy one, because so many people have this, is to compliment someone's eyes. Like, if somebody has beautiful eyes, let them fucking know and be vulnerable. That is a strength. Like, ultimately they want to hear it, right? Who doesn't want to hear a compliment? It can take your day from 0 to 100, and it's not because it was a superficial compliment. It's not because like, oh, this person's trying to get in my pants. Like, when you can feel that it is genuine. And the thing is about unconditional love is that you give without expecting anything back. And this is the universal law of reciprocity, is when you give, do not expect anything back. Okay? And the simplest one, and this one really changed the game for me, and I think I learned this just coming out of uni, right? So coming out of uni, typically don't have heaps of money. So when you're buying someone a birthday gift, you're like, oh, I'm kind of like assuming that they're going to come for my next birthday and I'm going to get a birthday gift. And like, now I say this out loud, it sounds so fucking stupid, but there was a time where I did expect it to be tit for tat, right? Like, that is just what you expect. And when you don't have a lot of money, it's understandable. But at the end of the day, if you want to live a life of alignment and you want to live a life of love and peace and joy and contentment and freedom, you don't expect anything back. And when you give for the sake of love. So when you're giving a compliment, you're not expecting one back. You're not expecting them to want to, take it further and have more conversation. Like, it's just that's it. Like, I was just letting you know, right? And whatever happens, happens. But you give without expecting to receive, and that is the law of reciprocity. And it's really important that we do this because it sets us free. Who really wants to be keeping tabs on oh, did this person invite me to their birthday? Oh yeah, they did. Okay, so and did they get me a present? Or this person bought me a coffee, so now I have to get them if you're saying should, if you're saying have to, that is just a sure fucking sign to show that you're not living from an aligned space, right? The word should is absolute rubbish. No, you shouldn't have to do anything. You just do what is best for you, because the word should is based on conditions. It's not unconditional love if you think, oh, I should do this, oh, I should do that. Then you're operating from a space of force and will. And do you really want someone to give you a birthday present because they felt like they should? Because I can guarantee it's probably not going to feel the same as if somebody gave you one and they were just I saw this and I thought of you and I couldn't help myself. And does that not just have so much more love attached to it? Because it's unconditional. And this is the thing. This is how we go higher. It is really all in the unconditional love. And coming back to the point from the start, it starts with unconditional love for yourself. In the moments where you don't want to love yourself, that is exactly when you need to love yourself. In the moments when you don't want to get out of bed, in the moments where you feel lazy or you feel like you need to have a day off, still love yourself. And I get that it's a muscle, and I think I learned this, in having chronic pain, because I can't self-hate because it makes the pain worse. And pain is information, right? Pain is showing us what needs our attention on whatever level that is. And once I realized that pain is, and this is the message that Mum got from ayahuasca. And so when she got this message, I was like, oh, fucking hell, this is a doozy, because basically the message that she received is that pain is a gift. Oh, doesn't that one hurt? Pain is a gift. And even when Mum said this to me, I was like, fuck, Mum, I don't know about that. But all right, everything that she says, when she first says it, sometimes I'm like, oh, not sure, but eventually it all adds up. So I knew it would in time. And, I subconsciously resonated with it, right? But consciously I had all of this ego come up of how dare you? How dare God say that pain is a gift? Because pain is painful, right? I don't really know any other way to put it. And when I am was in my chronic pain state where I'm screaming and crying and there's just no way out and there's no pain relief for me, I don't feel like that's a gift, but the more I went down this route and the more I really inquired into the pain and actually, redesigning my life around the pain, because ultimately I couldn't pretend that the pain didn't exist. I couldn't keep doing what I was doing and knowing that I was living a life out of alignment, because that was causing my pain to be worse. My chronic pain was at its peak when I was in a relationship that had reached its expiry and I didn't allow myself to admit it. My chronic pain was at its peak when I was working a 9-to-5 job that was sucking my absolute soul and was in an industry that I knew wasn't right for me. My chronic pain was the worst when I was lying to myself and lying to my family about who I truly was. And that's the gift, because pain showed me that these are the areas I need to make changes in my life. And it doesn't just come like that, but once we have the awareness, and I know this is going to be triggering to hear because I felt the exact same way, but really lean into it. And once again, it's that loving of self. You don't need to beat yourself up when you're in pain, or what doesn't need to necessarily be physical pain, emotional pain, spiritual pain, feeling like there's just this pain inside of you, inside of your heart, this is information, and this is a gift, because ultimately it's a information that leads us to making the changes out of self-love, and that is when it becomes a gift. The fact that I am just walking around this little apartment, this little hotel in Santorini, and essentially free from so much of the pain that was weighing on me when I wasn't my authentic self. This is the gift. And don't get me wrong, I still struggle. Today was a really hard day. But ultimately, I just let myself nap at the most random times. I think I have a nap from like 6 to 7 and then 8 to 9, which is just weird because now it's 12:43. But once again, self-love. My body needed a nap. So what was I going to do? I'm going to allow myself to have a nap. And it's really just allowing yourself to do what you need and then forgiving yourself. If you need a day off, you need a day off. You know, pretty sure the world's not going to stop if you take a day off, if that is what you need. If you need to cancel on this friend because you need to just have time with yourself, that is okay. The world is not going to stop. Actually, it's going to be better for everyone, because what is in alignment for you is in alignment for everybody else. What is in alignment for you is in alignment with everybody else. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel that way. And trust me, when I up and left, I felt like everybody was upset. Everybody's like, why are you leaving? I don't want you to leave. When I first left the Gold Coast, and then when I left Adelaide, and then when I continued my solo travels, it just felt like, you know, I was doing a selfish thing. But ultimately, when you choose self-love, it is better for everyone, because now you've raised your vibration, right? So you're now a better person for yourself, and you're a better person for the people around you. And the biggest thing is that you're showing others that they can do this too. Because anyone that is jealous, or anyone that is in this sort of codependency of like, man, why did you leave me? Like, I wanted you to hang around, blah, blah, blah. This is all based on conditions, and it's not unconditional love. If you don't want your friend to go off and live their life, you're holding on to these conditions of what they should do, and it's not based on unconditional love for them. And because it's rooted in the love that you're lacking for yourself, because you don't believe that what that friend is doing or what that person is doing is possible for yourself, and that is jealousy. And the green monster is nasty. It's so nasty, but it's information, and it shows us that if you're jealous of what somebody else is doing, that's just an unworthiness wound. You just believe that that's not possible for you. If you're jealous of somebody who's in Greece right now, do you believe that you can do the exact same thing? And if so, why not explore that? Because I can guarantee if that's what you want, you can do it. And you can sit there and go, oh, well, you know, I don't have the money for this. Well, okay. Well, then figure it out then, because if it's what you want to do, you'll figure it out. If you want to go to Greece so badly that you're going to bitch about somebody who else is living their dreams, then go put the energy, instead of bitching about somebody else, go put the energy into working another job, or into saving more money, or into doing something that feels aligned for you, so that you're able to get money in alignment, so that you can go and travel. Ultimately, it doesn't even need to be about the money, because you could just go and look at places that'll be open to having you work and stay there. So like, you are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not. You can do anything. It's just a matter of priorities, and it's just a matter of how badly you want to do it. And believe me, I was stuck in the, oh, poor me, like, I don't know what to do, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, you either get so sick of yourself that you just keep going and you keep complaining and, oh, poor me and my circumstances, blah, blah, blah. Or you get so fucking sick of your circumstances that you just make a change. Nobody else can do that for you. Nobody else can make that change for you, right? You can do it. And this isn't to create some sort of pressure. It's what I'm saying is that just love yourself no matter what. If right now it's not the time for you to be in Greece, okay? Right? Trust in your timing. There was a time where my friends were in Europe and I was at home, and I was happy for them because I knew and I trusted that my time is coming, and ultimately they're friends that I love and care about, and I want them to be having the best time. Okay? So when you have this love for yourself, then you can extend that to other people. But ultimately, you have to put yourself first. So don't beat yourself up if you want to stay in bed. Don't beat yourself up if you can't reply to your friends right now, because when you put the love and the energy into yourself, then you get to a space where you are able to give without expecting anything back. When I talk to my friends, I don't expect to get anything back from them. I'm connecting with them because I love them and I want to spread love. And it's just the same in any relationships. Like if you have to force love for someone, babe, walk away. Walk away, because you're just wasting your time. Because that love should be going to you. That love should go to you first, okay? So I honestly think I managed to stay pretty on topic here. I'm pretty impressed. Under 40 minutes, let's freaking go. So I'm going to call it there. I've probably paced around this room like 100 times. But that's how you know. That's how you know it's a good combo. When you're pacing. So yeah, wow, I'm slowly diminishing now, but I really hope that was the activation that somebody needed. And yeah, just remember to love yourself, forgive yourself. Like I shared something on my story today that said something about, he who blames another is not on the right track, but he who blames himself is on the journey, but he who blames no one is there. Blame no one, okay? Just move on to the next, Just trust, take the time that you need, because when you do allow yourself to go, okay, fine, I'm going to sleep in. Okay, fine. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay an extra night at this accommodation. Whatever. It's actually just in the allowing yourself and knowing that you've got the time, you will bounce back 10 times harder. I can guarantee it, because I remember whenever I would have my chronic pain at my office job, and I would be like, I need to take the day off, but maybe I can push through it, and blah, blah, blah. And if I tried to push through it and I tried to, do some work while I was in pain, even though I was from home, the work would be shit. I would be in more pain. It would just be no good. But when I actually said, look, I'm in pain, I need to take a day off. And then as soon as I just got that yes of like, yeah, sure, take the day off, it was just a weight lifted off my shoulders. And all of a sudden, I could actually get more productive rest, because now I'm not spending time trying to stay awake and fight the pain. Now I can just go to sleep. And now I can be free from the pain and free from the additional pressure. So I am sending you off with so much love and light. I'm so freaking proud of you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep loving yourself. And if you ever feel called to reach out, no matter what that is, I love to hear from you. And remember, if I don't get back to you immediately, it's not personal, it's vibrational. Okay, so I'm so freaking proud of you. I love you guys so much, and have a magical rest of your day. Mwah.